Good morning. Welcome back to Bible and Blues. We are doing reading from the car today. It's actually a pretty nice day out. It's overcast, which around here we're so close to the water. Being overcast is pretty common. For my commentary, I had one thing in mind, and then I listened to another video, and another thing popped into my mind, and then listen to another one, and okay, kind of what I settled on was. All right, fine. I'm going back to the whole atheist thing. I'm going to tell you what. Here's if you're just your average non-believer, and I would say that most atheists are actually agnostic. They're willing to admit there might be something else out there. They're willing to say, hey, you could be right, but you know what? There's a whole lot of other people out there that are saying the same thing, right? So I can admit that issue with you, and that would put you in the agnostic. Okay, I feel there's something out there. I don't have the energy. I don't have the time. I don't have the desire to investigate it. And so, these are so you call yourself atheist, and so because I don't really believe anything. Those aren't really, generally speaking, those are the people I'll talk to in a different way, of course. They have a particular set of beliefs that all religions are equal, and there's many paths to heaven, and all this stuff. And yet, if you examine any one of the people who say, there's a path to heaven, here's a way to do it, most of us, I don't care who you are, whether you're Islam, whether you're Christian, or what other group you want to call it, most of the bigger ones will say that this is it. Okay. And so that's where it falls onto us to prove that kind of concept, and to give people the tools to work with on that. And this is just kind of the way it is. I mean, to sit there and say, well, there's many paths, means you haven't looked at anything. Okay. So what happens is I was Mundane Matt is another atheist guy, and here's where my theory is. Most of these guys came out of what was known as Gamergate, and if you don't know about that, look it up. There's all kinds of stuff out there. These gamers were, kind of attacked. The games were attacked by feminists, and these guys jumped up, and all of a sudden they realized, hey, here's a way I can make some money too. On top of that, because because they can jump up and down and scream. Of course, remember I mentioned that. My attitude about that there's an awful lot of people in the gaming community who have a difficulty with belief because their every fantasy is lived out online, whether it be a sexual fantasy, an attack fantasy, a ruling the world fantasy, or magic fantasy, or whatever fantasy you can think of. They can live it out online. And right down to having things like cosplay, festivals and things like that, So, so that gives them a disillusionment with any concept of supernatural, because they've seen all this stuff online. Because when we talk as people of faith, of miracles and things like that, we're talking about tangible, put your hands on it, look at it, miracles. Okay, and those things are still happening every single day. There's all kinds of unexplained things out there. I'm not going to get involved in that because I might do that on my other channel. Okay, I might do that on Live to Explore. I could see that as a good thing to do there. The concept of miracles in the modern age is something I might take a look at. But anyway, so I listened to Mundane Matt a little bit this morning because I don't normally, because he really does. He's really condescending towards anybody of faith, in particular Christians. Very condescending towards evangelical Christians. Puts the southern accent in, the hillbilly accent on it, Appalachian accent onto it, and really is very condescending and a jerk. And so I listened to a little bit of what he had to say, and then within like 3 minutes of his video, he's being very condescending towards specifically Christians. And so I was like, yeah, all right, that's right. That's why I don't actually watch your stuff. So Mundane Matt, I know you don't really care. You have a huge following, 300,000 followers. Good for you. I'm not really gunning for you, and certainly with channel my size, can't really gun for somebody your size. But at the same time, you're a jerk. All right, so that being said, and that's kind of why that's kind of like people are like, why do you get so up in arms about atheists? Well, atheists no, anti-theists more than atheists, anti-Christians. I'll talk about that more than I will, you know, agnostic is a whole other thing. That's just somebody that's being lazy. And I think majority of people who call themselves atheists are actually agnostic, and so there's only a few. I mean, if you ever watch Frank Turek, he's an apologetic. He's an apologist. He's a Christian apologist. And he'll debate. He's debated Christopher Hitchens before he passed, Sam Harris. I mean, all of them. Whether they're big or small, he'll talk to him, and then he does Q&A afterwards. But he often says, and you listen to enough of it and you realize he has the same main spiel. And he'll often say, hey, the whole concept, if I could show you irrefutable proof about that Christianity is correct, that Jesus did do it, and I can show you film of it, and absolute proof of what happens after you die if you're a believer versus a non-believer. If I can show that to you, would you become a Christian? And there are people who would say no. And so, there you go. So anyway, we are picking up on Pei and Sadi. And I'm sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Please feel free to correct me. I do not speak Hebrew. It is Psalm 119, verses 129 through 144. Okay, and I need to go into work. What time is it right now? It is. Oh, I have plenty of time. It's not even 8:15. So, it's verse 129 through 144. I said correct. Correct. So get your Bibles out. Let's do some reading. Your statutes are wonderful. Therefore, I obey them. The unfolding of your words gives light. It gives understanding to the simple. I open my mouth and pant, longing for your commands. Turn to me and have mercy on me, as you always do to those who love your name. Direct my footsteps according to your word. Let no sin rule over me. Redeem me in the oppression of men, that I may obey your precepts. Make your face shine upon your servant, and teach me your decrees. Streams of tears flow from my eyes, for your law is not obeyed. Your law is not obeyed. And does it really bother you when people are doing that? I mean, when I myself am not obeying the law of God and His word, I feel convicted. This is very, very indicative. I open my mouth and pant, longing for your commands. And the desire, the heavy breathing, searching, for the commands of the Lord, and trying to understand these things, and asking the Lord to have mercy, as you always do to those who love your name. So, okay, we'll continue. Righteous are you, O Lord, and your laws are right. The statutes you have laid down are righteous. They are fully trustworthy. My zeal wears me out, for my enemies ignore your words. Your promises have been thoroughly tested, and your servant loves them. Though I am lowly and despised, I do not forget your precepts. Your righteousness is everlasting, and your law is true. Trouble and distress have come upon me, but your commands are my delight. Your statutes are forever right. Give me understanding, that I may live. Here is reading of the Lord. Thanks be to God. The Lord's statutes are fully trustworthy. My zeal wears me out, for my enemies ignore your words. And let's face it, they do. These are words written by a king. Okay, these are words written by a king, and showing his humbleness in the eyes of God, in comparison, and that he was a great king, and he served the Lord, and was a servant of the Lord, and understood that position. Do you consider yourself a servant of the Lord, or you consider yourself? And I think I refer to Western thinking on a lot of these things because it is what I see. It's where I'm coming from. Uh, I see this concept of wanting to be equal. Okay, and we can't be equal with God, and God is above us, way above us, so you know we can't possibly think to understand His mind, but we can attempt it, and we can get insights into it. So, and He does it through the Bible. He gives us his what He wants us to know through the Bible, how He wants us to understand, and through fellowship with other Christians who will help you in things. And Lord, just I pray this for you. I pray that you get a desire in your heart for the Lord's word, to read His word, to attend, to be in His house, to be in His presence. Do you have to be a Christian to be? Do you have to go to church to be a Christian? No, but it sure helps. You don't need a parachute to jump out of an airplane, but it sure does help. So, sorry, I digress. Though I am lowly and despised, I do not forget your precepts. Though I am lowly and despised, King David fought the entire time, the courts of his kingdom and the higher ups that were, that he was, the council that he had to listen to as a king. So anyway, this is where I'm going to finish it up today because I have to get inside. I have to go to work. Tell me yourself, what do you think of anything I talked about today? Are you agnostic? Are you seeking? Are you atheist and you were really put upon? I mean, if I do tend to think that the people who put a dislike on my videos as probably are atheist. And if you're not, if you're agnostic and you're disliking my video, tell me why. If you're atheist and you dislike my video, tell me why. If you are Christian and you dislike my video, tell me why. Okay, don't just dislike it. I can, it's there's more to it than that. There's a why. Why do you dislike it? Why don't you like what I'm saying? Do you believe that there's many paths? I know many people that believe that there are many paths to heaven. I think every one of the people that believe that are wrong. I believe there's one path. I am the way, the truth, and the light. The path to the Father is only through me, says Jesus. Is Christianity the only one that says that this is the only way, the only true way to heaven? No, but based upon my experience, it's to me, this is the one that is truth. So where are you stating on this? So anyway, have a great day. I hope you had a good Father's Day. Would you like to hear about my Father's Day? I'll tell you about my Father's Day. So woke up and I was supposed to be running lights for church yesterday morning, and I got there with plenty of time to run lights on 2 services, at 9 a.m. service and 11 a.m. service. So you get there, they want you there about 7:45, 8 o'clock, so you can kind of prepare and have everything ready. Well, lo and behold, I didn't realize that there was only one service. We do a summertime, we only do one service, and they started that this week. So I was there at 8 o'clock, before 8 o'clock, and with my whole family, and lo and behold, I didn't have to be there for over another hour, and so because service didn't even start till 10 o'clock. Oh well, I was fully prepared to run the lights on that one service. I banged that out, right? And so then after that, there was a barbecue at church, just hamburgers, hot dogs, and things like that. And of course, because of potential for rain, they set the grill up under the overhang in front of the church. Well, that meant that we set the smoke alarm off. The fire alarm went off, and there you go, right? Fire department came, shut the alarm off. Oh well. And then after that, I actually took a nap on Sunday afternoon. Father's Day. I took my Father's Day nap. I slept for a good hour and a half on the couch and chilled out and relaxed. Don't get to do that very often. Sunday evening, we went out to dinner with our eldest and his fiance, and had a great dinner at a bar and grill called Hopjacks. It's not too far from us. And it's the first time I've been there. I had a really good burger. It was incredibly fattening, and so it was a great time. I really enjoyed it. So I hope you had a good Father's Day. Tell me what you did on Father's Day. What was your experience for Father's Day? Did you go out with the family? Did you grill? Did you do your own barbecue? Did you cook your own food for Father's Day? That one's always kind of struck me. I didn't. I actually managed to be in a situation, where I didn't have to cook all day. It was nice. So anyway, so the landscapers who work really hard to keep our property here at work nice are coming by with very loud machines. So you guys have a great day. God bless. I will talk at you later.